Yeah, it definitely, like, people say I'm living the dream or it was just a dream, but like it literally was. Like, I had visualized that last half mile of the race so many times. You know, when I looked back at previous marathons and Olympic trials marathons, especially, like to see Ryan Hall celebrate in 2008 or to see Meb Keflezighi celebrate in 2012. I'd seen their celebrations, and that's kind of the experience that I wanted to have. And it was just as much or even more. I just really got to embrace that moment with the crowd and with Connor by my side and go into that last stretch just really just soaking in the idea that I'd made the Olympic team. And it was even more special, obviously, crossing the finish line and having Ashley and the girls there, but then my parents and my siblings and the support staff, and it was priceless. It really was. And to do that with a teammate especially as well. You know, there was a lot of uncertainty whether we could go 1-2. That was the goal, but a lot can go wrong in a marathon. And so just talk about a miracle that we could both unlock the Olympic standard times, but then also go repeat and go 1-2 at the trials is just nothing short of a miracle.
It's something we've been dreaming of since we got married in 2016. And Clayton always told me, I believe that I have a shot, and so I am going to keep running. I believe that I could make it to the Olympics, and so this is worth it. And I really bought into that. I really believed that it could happen. So yeah, it's been a lot of years in the making, a lot of dishes washed, a lot of a lot of miles, a lot of laundry, a lot of, just all those little things that add up. Clayton calls it the mundanity of excellence, and there are so many things about being good at something that are really mundane and really boring and just really repetitive. And so to have all of that add up to something that's so worthwhile is really wonderful.
Like, I could tell on Lucy's face especially that she was like shocked and a little overwhelmed by the crowd and what was happening, and probably my emotions and Ashley's emotions, and not really understanding. So I kind of just, I looked her in the eyes and took a deep breath and really asked her if she really understood what was happening, and tried to give her just a little bit of littlest bit of context. But obviously she doesn't understand all the way. Weeks. I'd just say weeks going into the race, it seemed like every day she was asking me, like, is tomorrow the race? Is tomorrow the race? So she's definitely aware of Daddy's big race and that it's coming, and asks every day about it, and is praying that I don't get sick for my race, or praying that Jenna or Mom, and she's very much invested but doesn't quite understand the caliber. But yeah, I can't wait to show her that in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years maybe, and maybe give her a little bit more context of just how amazing that moment was for her and for me.
Yeah, and every prayer since the race has been, please help Dad to train really, really fast so he can run really, really fast so he can win his next race.
Yeah.
Which is really cute that she, doesn't have the full picture, but a small concept of what it means to win and what it means to race and what that crowd looks like. I knew Clayton in high school. We never dated or anything, but we were just always in the same friend group. And I always really admired his running, how fast he was, how dedicated he was. I would go to the meets and things and just want to have fun. And he was always there to compete and perform really well, and he always did that. So from the very beginning, I knew that running would be a big part of our relationship. And I always wanted to support that. And so I would say, like, early on, before we had kids, I didn't know a lot about running, but I was always interested, and I always wanted to hear how he was doing. And we always said when we got married, like, we were going to try for 2 Olympic cycles, just see how it goes. If he does well, then we'd reassess. And if things weren't going well, then we'd reassess. And there's definitely some opportunity cost there, because Clayton could have been a great engineer, gotten a lot bigger paycheck a lot earlier on. So I'd say, early on it was mostly just supporting his dream from, like, not really actually doing anything, but just being excited about his dream. And then, we have 2 little girls, and now my role looks a whole lot different, because I am definitely kind of running the household so that he can focus on running. And I know that a lot of women play this role, so I'm not trying to say I'm doing anything that other moms aren't doing, but woken up with the girls every night.
Let's just say how it is. I'm like a grown-up teenage boy that she's taking care of. And so she's not only taking care of the girls, she's taking care of me.
Yeah. I make sure Clayton gets his naps and pack all of his snacks and feed him and take care of him. Yeah. So just simple things like that, but it all adds up. So
like, it's not me convincing her for me to run another race or run another marathon, or it's almost the other way around, that she's supporting me and asking me, what's the next race? What's the next, what's the next step to get towards the Olympic dream, right? And there's never been a moment of doubt from Ashley, and that's been pretty special.
But there have been moments of grumpiness or resentment or frustration.
Yeah.
But I like to think, like, despite my grumpy emotions, I've always been supportive.
Yeah. Most recently, I think, as we've kind of said in other podcasts, like, it's definitely been a nutrition standpoint. We found that, I was checking all of these boxes, but the one that we really needed to up our game together as a team was just nutrition in general. And so, Ashley went to the lengths of talking to university professors and figuring out the exact carbohydrates and proteins that I need after workouts or races to optimize recovery, just things like that, little details that she has become almost obsessively passionate about, that she's the one that's, forcing food down me instead of me, and obviously not forcing, but that's been really helpful too, because that makes all the difference. You can work really hard, but if you don't recover from it, there's no gain made. And that's what we've really focused on. And it's been a team effort. And so while I'm doing all the hard work in practice, she's doing all the hard work for recovery. And together, that's where you make growth, and it makes all the difference.
But after every marathon, we get our run together where we're both the same speed. And that's one of my very favorite things. So we haven't gotten to after this race because I've been sick, and so I'm hoping that he'll run slow enough that I can run with him again. But yeah, it's fun when we go my pace and run for a couple miles. So
my favorite thing that comes to my mind away is her potatoes that she makes. I could eat, she makes them in like large batches and then keeps them and fries them.
Mom, 1 second. Okay, I'll get you some food in just a second. Do you want to sit with me for a second? Okay.
That's like one thing that comes to mind for sure.
It's his favorite food. He loves them. And they're so easy to
First
make,
watch
which is
potatoes.
the best thing.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing tomorrow night?
Oh.
We are going to a Valentine's dinner dance, and I'm very excited about it. Clayton is
all
actually
planned by Ashley.
Clayton is the better dancer of the two of us. Growing up, he was in a singing, dancing group, so he's actually a very accomplished country swinger. He's very good at it, and I have 2 left feet. I'm a really bad dancer, but Clayton's so good at it that it makes it really easy. And so Valentine's Day is the one time of the year that I get him to take me dancing, and it's really fun.